Then we're going to get a little more practice with our composite area. Okay, you know, that's the shapes where they're kind of like mushed together, or you got shape inside a shape kind of thing. One of the common problems you see with something like this is something that looks kind of like this. We got a sidewalk is going to be built around a garden. Sidewalk will be 2 yards wide. We need to know the area of the sidewalk. I mean, this is something that you potentially could even have to do or something similar in real life. You know, if you want to put a sidewalk, you might need to know how much concrete you need. And so you'd have to know what that area is going to cover. Or even if it wasn't a sidewalk with like concrete or something like that, you know, you might have to know how much dirt for something else or something like that. So, to start with, we got the garden there in green. Let's just get the area of the garden. All right, so find the area of the garden quick. Lacey? $240 is correct for the garden. Base times height, and that's 20 times 12, okay? Now's where this one gets a little bit trickier. We need the base and the height for the sidewalk, okay? So let's start with the base, or let's start with what it tells us. It says the sidewalk is 2 yards wide, okay? So that means everywhere on there, 2 yards wide. Can anybody tell me what the base would be then? Judah? Nope, not 22. 24. Why is it 24 not 22?
Because it's 2 inches on both sides.
Well, not inches, yards, but we got 2 yards right here, right? We got 2 yards right here, so that makes 24 on the total. Everybody follow on that? A little bit trickier, right? All right, what about the height then? Gray? 14 is incorrect. All right, so same type idea there. We had 2 and 2 with the 12, so that makes 16 total. All right, so now we need the area of that rectangle. So who can give me the area of that rectangle? Greg? That sounds right. So the big one, we got 384. But what that includes is that includes the sidewalk and the garden, right? So now we need just the area of the sidewalk only. Ford? 144. So we got the area with the sidewalk and the garden. We subtract just the garden, and what's left is the sidewalk. Like I said, that can be helpful to know like how many supplies or that sort of thing you need to buy. Okay? Any questions on that? I've seen problems similar to this in 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So you get problems like this every so often, okay? The main thing is you got to remember on one like this, if it's a sidewalk or a path or whatever around it, it's on both sides, okay? That's kind of like the trickiest part with those. All right, so we're gonna look at this one. The difficulty with problems like these, with these composite areas sometimes, is there's more than one way to do it. All right? You know, like the saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat kind of thing. There's more than one way to get it done, but you're gonna end up hopefully with the same thing. So I'm gonna show you a couple different ways. One way, we're gonna cut it on those dots, okay? So now I got 3 rectangles. For this first rectangle on the left, there's my base, there's my height. So we do 8.5 times 17. Who's got that? Y'all can use the calculators. Board. 144.5, gonna be correct. I'm gonna skip the middle one for right now, because I think the middle one's a little trickier. So let's look at the one on the right. What's my base? 11, what's my height? All right, so we get the area on that one. All right, everybody good on that? All right, so now we gotta get the middle one. On the middle one, base is probably easy. What's the base on the middle one? Nope, not 36. Yeah, the 16.5 is going just right there. The 36 is going all the way across that shape. So that's why we're not gonna use the whole 36. So we got 16.5 for our base. What about the height? 8. Who's not sure why it's 8? All right, so look, right here, that's how far? How far is that line? 17. So what that means is over here, still gonna be 17, right? But if this much is already 9, this rectangle is gonna be what's left to make 17. 17 minus 9, that gives us 8. Okay? So now we get the area on that last one. $16.5 times 8, right? 132. Okay? Now what do we do? Add them up. Brian? $419.5. Make sense? Not so bad? I think when a lot of y'all see that shape, that's probably how a lot of y'all might look at it. Okay? All right, I said there's more than one way. Would this way work? Yeah, this way's gonna be a little trickier. Okay? I'm gonna start with the big one on the bottom. What's the base on the big one? 36. All right? It's going all the way across. That makes it 36. What's the height there? 8. That's the 8 from before, right? Same idea. The whole thing would be 17. That little piece up there is 9, so that leaves 8 left. So 36 times 8. 288 is correct. Okay? Let's do the one up top then, on the top left. What is the area of that top left? Sydney?
76.5.
76.5 is correct. And then we got one more. That top right, that's where it gets maybe a little trickier. Who can tell me the area for the little one on the top right? 55 is correct. Anybody not sure how we get 55? We've got a base of 11. The height goes right there. But we already know this part right here, that was 8. So if the whole thing's 13, 13 minus 8, that gives us 5. 5 times 11, 55. And when we add all those up, what do you get? So, same thing we got before, right? See how this is working? All right, one last way on how we can do this. I'm just going to show you on this one and all, but it's subtracting pieces. To me, this is actually the way I would do it. Like I said, I don't think all of y'all necessarily think that same way. Like chopping it, probably the first way is how most of y'all would have done it. So if we got the big area, I got 17, I've got 36. That's my base and my height. That's going to be this whole thing is going to be the area there. All right, so 17 times 36. What's that? Just say it out. 612. All right, so 612 is my big green rectangle I put right there. So now we're going to subtract the missing, or the pieces that are missing, okay? So for the missing pieces, I've got one right here. That's 9 times 16.5.
148.5.
So we got 148.5, and then we got one last one here, where this one gets a little trickier, is we need to get the height. All right, so on the left side, we can see this is all 17 over here. Over here, this much of it was 13. What that means is we need 4 more. So 4 times 11 gives us 44. That 44 and the 148.5, those are pieces that are missing from that shape. So you start with the 612, and you would subtract them. 612 minus 148.5 minus 44, and that gives you, hey, we see how this is working. Same thing, right? If done correctly each time, it doesn't matter which way you do it, okay? There's more than one way to get these done. Sometimes, though, that's what makes this a little trickier or a little more confusing, especially if you're working with a partner and your partner sees it one way and you see it a different way, okay? Just, you gotta work your way through getting the different pieces.